Let us see the next question. A mutual fund having 300 units has shown its net asset value per unit 8 rupees 75 paise and 9 rupees 45 paise at the beginning and at the end of the year respectively. So this is technically NAV 0 and this is NAV 1. The mutual fund has given two options. First, pay 75 paise per unit as dividend and 60 paise per unit as capital gain, or otherwise these distributions are to be reinvested at average NAV of 8 rupees 65 paise per unit. What difference would it make in terms of return available and which option is preferable? That is a question. I request all of you to go through the question and then we are going to discuss with the answer. So over here it is a very simple question wherein two questions are provided to us. The first question is that if at all the payment is made, then in that case what is the return? And in the second case the question is that if at all this amount is reinvested at an average NAV that they have provided, what is the return? So let us understand and say how to make the calculation of answer. As far as the first situation is concerned, in that very simple, dividend income, yes. Capital gain income, yes. Change in the units value, yes. Taking all of them into account, we are required to compute the return. So return answer. Answer of the first question, in which calculation of the return, comma, if dividend and capital gain are not reinvested. So over here we understand dividend income plus capital gain income plus NAV 1 minus NAV 0 whole divided by NAV 0 into 100. As per the given information, 75 paise is the dividend income, then 60 paise is the capital gain income, NAV 1 is 9 rupee 45 paise, NAV 0 is 8 rupee 75 paise whole divided by 8 rupees 75 paise into 100 for getting answer in percentage term. That is what we understand. So 9.45 minus 8 rupees 75 paise. So change in the unit value is 70 paise plus 0.75 plus 0.60. That comes to 2 rupee 5 paise whole divided by 8.75 into 100. That is the way the return is found, 23.43%. This is the way, so the return is supposed to be calculated if at all the dividend and the capital gain are not reinvested. Number of times I come across to a question from the students that, sir, aren't we supposed to consider the number of units that they have provided in the question? My answer to them is, yes, you may consider it. You'll get the same answer. So if at all you consider it, then in that case what will happen? As far as the dividend income is concerned, It is 75 paise per unit, yes, into 300 number of units. That comes to 225. Next is a capital gain income. That is 60 paise per unit, again into 300 number of units. NAV1, that is 9 rupee 45 paise per unit into 300 number of units. That comes to 2835. Lastly, NAV0. It is 8 rupees 75 paise into 300 number of units. That is 2625. So using all this, we can compute the return. So the final answer of the return is dividend income distribution plus capital gain income distribution, NAV1 minus NAV0 divided by NAV0 into 100. Dividend income is 225 rupees. Capital gain income is 180 rupees. NAV1 is 2835. NAV0 is 2625. Whole divided by 2625 into 100 for getting answer in percentage term. So what will happen? 2835 minus 2625, that is 210, plus 225 plus 180, that is 615 upon 2625 into 100. Of course, you are going to get the same answer, that is 23.43%. This is also the way you can compute the answer, but over here the number of units does not going to have any change in the answer. Second part of the question, if these distributions are to be reinvested at average NAV of 8 rupees 65 paise, please calculate the answer for this on your own. So definitely in the second part of the question, we have to take into account the dividend amount and the capital gain amount in total. Only in that case we can compute the number of units that will be allotted to the investor. So in order to give answer for the second question, first of all we will prepare working note number 1. Calculation of units allotted to the investor. It is dividend plus capital gain divided by average NAV. So the amount of the dividend income is 225, capital gain is 180. Divided by average NAV is 8 rupees 65 paise. So 225 plus 180, that is 405 upon 8.65, that comes to 46.82 units. This is the way, first of all, the number of units allotted to the investor is required to be found. Afterwards, it is very simple. Calculation of return. It will be as income upon investment into 100. We understand that say initially 300 number of units were allotted. Additional it is 46.82. So this is the total number of units held by the investor at the end of the period. The NAV at the end of the period is 9 rupee 45 paise minus 300 number of units at the NAV of 8 rupee 75 paise whole divided by 8 rupee 300 into 8 rupee 75 paise into 100 for getting answer in percentage term. Okay, so please use your calculator. 300 plus 46.82, so 346.82 into 9 rupee 45 paise, so 3277.45 minus 300 into 8 rupee 75 paise, that is 2625 whole divided by 2625 into 100 for getting answer in percentage term. 3277.45 upon 2625, that is 24.86%. This is the return if at all the dividend and the capital gain are reinvested. This is what we understand. Lastly, the question says that what difference would it make in terms of the return available and which option is preferable. So over here the question says that say which option is preferable. Of course we understand that so the option which is having higher return is preferable. Over here 23.43 and over here 24.86. So final answer would be like this. In case of reinvestment of capital gain and dividend, comma, return is higher, comma, so it is preferable. Full stop. This is what we understand.